Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Jefferson Elementary Regular Governing Board meeting. It is now 7 p.m. and we would like to call our meeting to order. Members present.
Clayton Koo,
Here.
Marie Brizuela,
Here.
Andrea Jordan,
Here.
Manufo Leah Inga Anawai.
Here. Thank you, Ms. Covere. And at this time, we are super excited. After such a long time, we are able to have some of our schools present beginning today. And we'd like to call on members of Franklin D. Roosevelt School to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. You can join us at the podium here.
Ready.
Ready,
Ready.
set, go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, we will review our governance team meeting guidelines. Thank you. I'd like to move on to the approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. We now would like to call once again on Franklin D. Roosevelt Middle School Student Leadership Elective class for their special presentation. As a K-8 school, Franklin D. Roosevelt has an opportunity for its students to lead in unique ways. The Student Leadership Elective class is empowering students to improve the school based on their visions. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having us here. My name is Sean Higgins, the principal of FDR. I'm here with 3 of our middle school students who I'll introduce in just a moment. Last year during distance learning, I missed our students. And I kept thinking and reading and listening about types of opportunities that we could create when they return. I thought about our student leaders. We've always had a traditional student government with campaigns, elections, and lunchtime meetings every couple of weeks to work on various projects. This model, I kept thinking, kind of excluded people who maybe wanted to be leaders but didn't want to participate in the election process. And so there were many student voices that were not being heard. So I thought about reimagining our student government to allow anyone interested to be a leader. Then I started thinking about all of the opportunities at our K-8 school, in our elementary classes, in our middle school, and all of the challenges that COVID have brought. I soon realized this idea was too big for a twice-monthly meeting of student government. This needed to be a middle school elective class. So I brought it to our middle school teachers over the summer, and one of our teachers, Mr. Lee, decided to take this on as an elective class. So here with me tonight are 3 of our students from our elective student leadership class, Haley Zhu, Christian Eisen, and Chloe Guevara.
Hello, my name is Haley Zhu, And I chose this class because I never really knew what leadership was about and I wanted a new experience. My project was peer tutoring. Our school's theme this year is Better Together. Peer tutoring helps with our theme because middle school tutors and elementary students are learning more and being better together.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Christian Eisen. I chose this class because I wanted to inspire others on positive behavior. What I created was an informational video on what positive behaviors are and why they are important. This class has taught me about positive behaviors. I will pass that on to others to make this school better together.
Hey everyone, my name is Chloe Guevara. I chose this class to get out of my shell and talk to more people. My partners and my project was more on the social side. We wanted people to have a happier mood and mindset and give them a fun and safe environment to socialize. The three of us represent the types of leadership projects that everyone in the elective class did this semester. Our social element, Haley's academics, and Christian helping out with school behavior. These components help our school be better together. Now, we have a video to share of our classmates talking about their leadership projects and being student leaders.
Hello, I am Dennis Lee, and I am sorry I am not there in person at this board meeting. I teach an elective called Student Leadership, and the first part of our trimester, they researched and looked into what they might like to do. So they had to come up with a proposal, and then, of course, I had to approve it, and then off they went.
My name is Haley, and I'm here to be a third student. I chose peer tutoring because I thought it would be a great opportunity to show myself what being a tutor is like. Something I learned about being a leader while tutoring is that help you with fun in order to help student.
Hi, my name is Shelby. Hi, my name is Ellison, and we are working on FDR Spirit Day. And for an example of course. For the previous perspective, we ran busy, ask, and more.
My project, TBIS, is about leadership behavior. I want to help kids become a better student and help them behave better. Decisions and choices and become a better person.
My project is to create a place for students to get updated on the latest news. I chose this project because from experience, I forget about upcoming events and do assignments, so I want to help other students. I learned that you don't need to do everything yourself. You can contact peers and adults to help you achieve your goals.
The project that we noticed is talking about they can refill their water and get proper hydration.
Leadership involves teamwork, because in order to achieve our goals, I need to follow. We collaborate with our peers. Hello, my name is Victor. Hello, my name is Brandon Manuel. We are working on today's work. PBIS is based trying to make the school a better place, also from the students. Every Friday, we have a student.
I chose PBIS for my project.
Ah!
I chose PBIS to help students on positive behavior. What do you think about being a student leader? As a student leader, I was taught on how positive behavior can change one's life considerably. My project is designed for this because I want to help kids are united in their children and try to help them understand. That's taught me that every kid is different in their own ways and that we can have a lot of ups and downs. Our project, we chose this project because we wanted people to have fun and to remember, and because we wanted to let them people do things. This year started off a little bit rough. Something that we learned being a student leader was that sometimes we need to take charge and do our own thing, but other times we need help and we can't turn to someone else.
all my years here at FDR, I've not seen middle school students take initiative, follow through, persevere, all the things that we want our middle school students to begin to do, they've shown. And I'm just amazed, I'm blown away, and I can't be prouder of how they embrace the idea of community and leadership.
Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. I'd like to open it up to the board for any comments or questions. We'll start with you, Trustee Koo.
Thank you for the presentation. You guys did a great job talking about what you guys have done for student government. And that video was a great kind of showing how even during the pandemic, our students can actually still do great things, especially at school and it's also virtually. So it's great to hear. Thanks to you, Mr. Higgins, as well as Mr. Lee for all the work on making this possible. And looking forward to seeing what's in store for this coming year as well. So thank you.
Trustee Buswello?
I'll try to speak loud so you can hear me through the mask. I just want to say I'm so proud of what you've done. I really am. It's amazing. And a big hand to you. And thank you, Mr. Lee, for supporting them and showing them the way as well. And I really appreciate it. But this is awesome. And if there's some time where we can have an award given to them, we got to do it. You guys are great. And pass it around, pass it on to the other schools or the other groups and let them know what they can do too. Thank you so much.
I echo, sorry, I'm trying to figure out this microphone here. I echo the sentiments of my fellow trustees. Mr. Higgins, you showing the foresight to move it from the meetings into an elective is just amazing. I think that we need more of that, focusing on the students and what their needs are versus, obviously the resources that we have. And obviously Mr. Lee stepping up into that role is completely amazing. Seeing the students really engaged, passionate, I think is just the cherry on top of it. And, thanking the students as well for being here tonight and being open to speaking your truth about how you feel about the program or the elective that you're taking. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you do in the future, and just congratulations to everyone for all their hard work on this.
Well, before you walk away, we've got a few certificates for you, but I too, like my fellow colleagues on the board, I want to just say congratulations. You hit it right on when you spoke how you had to reimagine how to create this space for your students. And we need solid leadership and lessons and examples of that now more than ever. And you all have exemplified what we continue to hope for our future. Us sitting in these seats, that's the leadership we seek. We seek to hear from you. We're here to serve our constituents, and you are our constituents. And to see that you're able to stand up and courageously articulate the level of leadership that you see in yourselves, that you want to be an example of in your school and in your community, is to be applauded. So we thank you and we celebrate you, because tonight you've set the tone for us to bring back more of your friends and your students across our district to come and provide us with more information and learnings of all that's happening in our schools. So thank you. So don't walk away. We're going to start with Trustee Jordan with the first certificate. And she's going to announce your name as she presents it to you.
Christian, and I might be pronouncing your last name wrong, Eisen?
How you pronounce it?
Oh, thank you. So I want to present you with a certificate of appreciation for participating in the flag ceremony in this special presentation. Thank you.
Appreciate that certificate.
Absolutely.
Trustee Brusuela?
So I have another certificate of appreciation for Choi Guevara. Did I say it right?
It's Chloe.
It's close.
Chloe?
You didn't say my name, not the same way either. Come. Keep up the good
Trustee
work.
Koo?
And last but not least, I have certificate of appreciation for participation in the flag ceremony and special presentation for Haley Zhu.
Thank you again. We will now move on to communications. And we will now turn to our board members for acknowledgments and commendations, and we will start off with Trustee Jordan.
I am glad to be here tonight and to echo our board and having people here in person. I think this is our third meeting in person. And so for me, it's absolutely my third because I'm new to the board and most of the meetings were virtual. So seeing everyone in person, being able to have human interaction outside of a screen is amazing. And being able to have our students presenting to us again in person, I just think I'm just thrilled and happy to be here. Tomorrow is Veterans Day, and so I also want to take a moment to say thanks to those who have served, like we are serving here on the board, and that have risked their lives, in the past, in the present, and for those that are going to be coming in the future to protect our country and our people. Looking forward to how this night goes, and thank you everyone for being here.
Thank you, Trustee Jordan. Trustee Brusuela?
Well, I won't repeat everything that you said, but I share the comments that she made as well. But I also want to think about the veterans and think of all the ones that lost their lives for our safety, for our country, because many of them are forgotten sometimes, but there's an awful lot of them. And other than that, reflections I have is I'm excited about what we're doing for the future with our students, and so proud of the students that were here tonight for what they have accomplished as well.
Thank you, Trustee Koo.
Want to echo everybody else's comments. Tomorrow's Veterans Day, so just want to thank all the veterans out there, past, current, and in the future, for their service to our country. So just want to express my thanks as well too. And then just want to wish everybody a happy holidays. I realize our next meeting won't be until after Thanksgiving, so just want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving, and hopefully a happy and safe holiday season as well too.
Thank you. As was already mentioned, I want to wish everyone again in our community a happy Veterans Day. I'm proud to be a daughter of a Navy serviceman, and my native country of American Samoa is the highest recruited country for servicemen and women. And I'm very proud of that. A lot of the people in the Pacific Islander community gravitate to an opportunity to serve their country coming from our territory. So I want to celebrate the sacrifices that have been made to ensure that we continue to have the liberties that we are able to enjoy today. I want to continue to thank all of our district employees, our administrators, our educators, our staff, our parents, and especially our students, as we continue to navigate through wearing these masks, as we continue to navigate to figure out how to continue to engage our students and to stay well, physically, spiritually, and mentally. We are in unprecedented times, and I just want to remind everyone that we sit here in these seats, we try to make decisions that'll benefit the things that we try to execute and do, but we can't do that without each of you, and we want to say thank you. I also want to encourage everyone, if you're capable and able, I want to thank Superintendent Vidales for the updates around our vaccination that has now been made available for the younger age group. I think it's exciting to know that it is now accessible for all of our families in the community to be able to access vaccinations if that is something you're open to doing at this time. So I want to wish you all well. Happy holidays for some that we may not see at our next meetings, and continue to be safe. So thank you for being here this evening. I'd like to turn it over to Superintendent for comments. Superintendent Vidalis.
Thank you. So as you mentioned, the vaccine has now become available for students aged 5 to 11. Jefferson Elementary will be sponsoring our first vaccination clinic next Wednesday at TR Policita. I am still in need of volunteers, so I'll be reaching out to our board to see if you're available. Help. And we're supposed to supply 20 volunteers. I think I'm pretty close, but I might be shy a couple. This Saturday, San Mateo County sponsoring vaccination events at the event center. Jefferson Elementary, working with Mr. Canepa's office, was able to get 2 buses on Saturday to drive families down to the event center, have the children become vaccinated, and then drive them back up. It is a trek for many families in Daly City to make it to the event center. I don't know if many people even know where it is because we don't get down there very much. But this is another way of making vaccines available. It's only going to be 30 students. The buses can only seat 30, 1 adult and 1 child. But that's 30 more students getting vaccinated because appointments are very difficult to get this week. And these 30 students don't even have to go through the whole My Turn application to make their appointments. So it was a nice gift, I think. And it was, the county staff were so amazed, and it's like 2 hours later, I have a list of 30 people. And I said, how'd you get this so fast? I said, we're hungry for the vaccine in the North County. Families really want it, and it's really hard to get an appointment. And so when I send it out, people sign up, and when it gets to 30, I stop. And then this afternoon, you can have another bus. So sent another one out 2 hours later, closed it down, and 30 more kids. We are starting to see an uptick in cases in our county, both among vaccinated and unvaccinated. And it's just so very important that we continue to message to our community about gathering safely. It's good to gather, but we need to do it safely. And I think right now we're seeing some results of Halloween gatherings. In a couple of weeks, we'll see, hopefully we won't see upticks related to Thanksgiving gatherings. But everywhere we go, we just need to remind folks, it's good to see friends, it's good to see family, but do it safely. We just never know where this virus is hiding, and it will find us. So hopefully we'll have a safe winter. I know people are preparing for the worst, but at least we're preparing, but I'm hoping for a safe winter for our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Vidalis. We will now move on to general functions. And I'd like to ask if we have a motion for our consent agenda and/or any questions before we move forward with the motion. If not, I'd like to ask for one.
I motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second motion.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We will now move on to item 8C, and that is for resolution number 21-11-10 to excuse Manufoli Ainganawai from regular board meeting October 27th, 2021. I'd like to ask for a motion.
I will make a motion that we approve resolution number 21-11-10 to excuse Manufo Lienga Anawai from regular board meeting on October 27th, 2021.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We have a roll call vote, please, Ms. Covere.
Mr. Koo,
Aye.
Mrs. Brizuela,
Aye.
Ms. Jordan,
Aye.
Ms. Leah Inga Anawai.
Aye. Thank you. We will now move on to item 8E, School Boundary Book Update. The administration recommends approving the updated 2021-2022 School Boundary Book to include new developments and street additions within our district. Do we have any questions on this item? If not, I'd like to ask for a motion.
Make a motion that we approve the school boundary book, the boundary book, excuse me, for 2021-2022.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We will now move on to item 9, Educational and Student Services. And item 9B is Educator Effectiveness Block Grant. School districts that receive Educator Effectiveness Block Grant funds pursuant to California Education Code Section 41480A are required to develop and adopt a plan by December 30th, 2021 that delineates the expenditure of funds apportioned, including the professional development of teachers, administrators, paraprofessionals, and classified staff. The plan shall be presented in a public meeting of the governing board before its adoption in a subsequent meeting. We will turn the time over to Ms. Scott.
Thank you. So tonight I am presenting to you our proposal for the Educator Effectiveness Block Grant. And we are sharing the information with you here tonight, and we'll make a recommendation at the next meeting on December 8th. So these funds are provided for professional learning and to promote educator equity, quality, and effectiveness for certificated teachers, administrators, paraprofessional educators, and certificated staff. There are funds that have been allocated on the basis of equal amount for certificated and classified full-time employee. Our funding allocation is $1.26 million. And these funds can be expended over the next 5 years. There are 10 total categories in which we can allocate the funds. I'll go through all 10. The first is coaching and mentoring solutions that address a local need for teachers that can serve all pupil populations. 2, programs that lead to effective, standards-aligned instruction and improve instruction in literacy across all subject areas. 3, practices and strategies that re-engage pupils and lead to accelerated learning. 4, strategies to improve social emotional learning and other approaches that improve pupil well-being. 5, practices to create a positive school climate, such as restorative justice, implicit bias, positive behavioral supports, and multi-tiered systems of support. 6, strategies to improve inclusive practices, universal design for learning, best practices for early identification and development of individualized education programs. 7, instruction and education to support implementing effective language acquisition programs for English learners. 8, new professional learning networks for educators. 9, instruction, education, and strategies to incorporate ethnic studies curricula. And 10, instruction, education, and strategies for certificated and classified educators in early childhood education or childhood development. So we are proposing that we use these funds to support professional development in the years 2023, 22, 2026 in the following categories. So the second one, which focuses on curriculum, so that we have an ongoing work to ensure rigorous and relevant curriculum. In number 5, which is around all the supports, so implementing universal, supplemental, and intensive supports for all students. And category 7 for English learners, making sure that integrated language development is within and across content areas. And we're thinking that these funds could, in those years, pay for 5 institute days. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Scott. I'd like to ask the board if you have any questions for Ms. Scott. Thank you, Ms. Scott.
Can I just add something? You might be wondering, why 2023 through 2020, like,
I was
so
gonna
we
ask
looked in the
that.
crystal ball and said, we're going to need some funds in those years. No. Actually, the plans that you've been approving the last couple of times have had built-in professional development days that will get us through the next 2 or 3 years. So we decided that we'll use these funds for professional development days further out, since we have the ESSER 3 funds and the extended learning opportunity grants that have incorporated professional development already.
Thank you, Superintendent Vidalis. And I don't have any questions, but because you brought up the ESSER 3 grant and the Extended Learning Opportunity Grant, I will say that lately I've been hearing a lot of confusion around the grant and program, and in comparison to that. So I would like at some point, if we could, before the end of the year, if possible, if we could get a refresher on that, I'd like to request that.
Yeah, for
if
sure.
possible.
I'm not sure we're going to have information on the Extended Learning Opportunity Program. We've been requesting it since it passed, and nothing's come out. So if it does come out prior to Ms. Kessler leaving, we can certainly see if we can fit it in. If not, I'm sure our new Assistant Superintendent of Business Services could support us in understanding it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again, Ms. Scott. Appreciate it. We will now move on to Area 10, Item 10, Business and Financial Procedures. And I'm sorry, that was included in our consent agenda. We will now move on to number 11, Certificated Personnel. And we are looking at item A, and that's certificated retirement. And the administration recommends approval of the retirement request from Barbara, and I apologize. I have no business getting people's names wrong. If you could help me out, Mr. Valenti.
Sakarakis.
Sakarakis. I apologize for Ms. Barbara Sakarakis.
I'm
Third-
waiting to see if you did it right.
Did he do it justice, Trustee Brizuela?
Perfect. You
Okay.
did it perfect.
Third grade teacher at Woodrow Wilson, effective January 1st, 2022, and request an appropriate resolution be prepared commending her for her years of service with the district. Ms. Sakarakis has been employed by the district since August 30th, 1991. Mr. Valenti?
Yeah, thank you very much. I am really happy but sad to congratulate Barbie Sakarakis on her retirement, both because it comes after a long, great career, but also because it comes in the middle of the year and I got some work to do. She's going to be a tough person to fill that position. She's a real positive person. I was principal at Woodrow with her for 3 years, and I'm just really pleased that she spent so much time in our district, and I wish her the best of luck in her in next endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't know if we have any comments before we go to requesting a motion, and if not, we can move forward to a motion. Ms. Brizuela, did you have a comment or?
I just want to say that I remember when she first came, and great person, great teacher. I'll say everything you said is absolutely true. Very much missed.
Thank you. Any other comments? If not, we can move on to a motion. Anyone like to make a motion?
I will make a motion to approve this certificated retirement for Miss Barbara. I'm gonna mess it up. Oh no, Sakarakis. 30 years is an achievement, and so I want to congratulate her and make that motion.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you again for your service. I still remember my third grade teacher at Cleveland Elementary in San Francisco, Miss Lustenberger, and the impact that she had on me. So I'm sure that many will miss her as she departs and celebrates her retirement. Thank you again, Mr. Valenti. We will now move on to item 12B, And this is the administrative appointment 2021-2022 for business services. The administration recommends approval of the following administrative appointment for 2021-2022. Michael Laro, Assistant Superintendent of Business Services at the District Office, effective December 31st, 2021, 2MG 256, Range 5, Step 1.
Again, just like I was saying with Ms. Sakarakis leaving, having Ms. Kessler leaving is something big, and this is my 7th year in this position. To have somebody that I've grown to work so tight with it's going to be difficult with the transition. But fortunately, Mr. Lauro, who's been working with us for several years now as our Director of Fiscal Services, is, I know, not only very competent, but he's somebody I'm very comfortable and have experience working with. And I would highly recommend that the board accept the administration's recommendation for his approval as our next Assistant Superintendent of Business Services.
Thank you, Mr. Valenti. Do we have any questions or comments from the board? And if not, I'd like to ask for a motion if we have no questions or comments.
I will make a motion that we approve the appointment for Mr. Michael Laura as the next Assistant Superintendent of Business Services, effective 12/31/2021.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you, Mr. Laro. Would you like to
Couple of words of fiscal
step up
advice.
to the podium and share a few words?
I didn't really prepare a speech, but it is nice to actually see everybody in person. When I first started working for the district, I came here in 2020, and everybody's still wearing a mask, but you're very segregated, and yeah, to have everybody in one room is really refreshing. When I first started working in school business, I started in payroll, and to be where I am now, my parents are very, very, very proud of me, and I'm proud of myself. And I look forward to working with the administration, the board, and Bernie, and all these plans that you approve, make them become reality, while also practicing fiscal responsibility and ensuring that Jefferson Elementary School District is fiscally solvent and in future years out, so that programs can continue in continuity. And so I'm very excited, but thank you all. And I look forward to the work we still have to do, right? So thank you.
That's a huge endorsement.
And Ms. Kessler's always a phone call away.
I've been very fortunate also throughout my career to have just really good mentors, and so I'm very fortunate. I feel very lucky, especially to work in Jefferson Elementary School District, where the staff has been like a family and so easy to talk to, and yeah, I just feel very fortunate. So like I said, I look forward to working with everybody in the future and continuing the good things that Julie's done and implementing things in the future that you guys are approving. So thanks again.
Thank you. And congratulations. And thank you, Ms. Kessler, for your mentorship and your support in this transition. Thank you. We will now move on to Trustee Ku's favorite part of our agenda. Item 13, Board Policies and Administrative Regulations. Item A is Board Policies, Administrative Regulations from June 2021 CSBA Board Policy Updates. First reading for discussion and action. The board will review and revise Board Policies, Administrative Regulations from June 2021 CSBA Board Policy Updates as stated in a first reading. Do we have any questions for discussion or comments? If not, I'd like to ask for a motion.
I will make a motion that we approve the first reading of the June 2021 CSBA board policy updates as presented.
Thank you. We've got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We will now move on to item 14, board governance matters. Item A is proposed board meeting dates for 2022. The board will review and discuss proposed board meeting dates for 2022 to be voted on at our December 8th, 2021 meeting. Is there any further information or discussion? I know we did
Yeah,
receive
no,
the dates.
we've just tried to bring the dates to the board early in November for you to look over, or perhaps identify any known conflicts. We're pretty much sticking to the second and fourth Wednesday. There are a couple of months where we're going to do the third Wednesday, but the first one being in January, because it's just tough to get a meeting together by the second Wednesday in January with the holidays. So if there are no conflicts or there are conflicts, please let me know in the next couple of days, because we will be approving a final version in December.
Thank you, Superintendent Vidalis. Is there any discussion? Thank you. We will now move on to item B, board trustees vacancy. The administration seeks direction on the process the board wishes to use to fill the board vacancy. If pursuing a provisional appointment, the board may select up to 2 members to serve on an ad hoc committee to determine whether applicants meet eligibility criteria. Superintendent Vidalis, could you refresh us on?
Yes. So basically, we've heard from Ms. Malek Kavzali that she needed to resign her position only 3 weeks in. So we're sad to see her not serve. So this presents the board another opportunity, and there's 3 choices essentially. One is make a provisional appointment for the remainder of the term, which goes through December 2022. Second choice is call for a special election. And I don't know when the soonest that could be, probably a March election, for which we would need to pay for everything involved since we'd be the only thing on the ballot. And third, which is almost like the second one, is do nothing and have the county superintendent call for a special election. So those are the 3 choices. Last time the board elected to make a provisional appointment, we had 4 candidates apply. 1 was selected. 3, there were 3 left. So then the board can decide how to move forward with this decision. You have the option. I mean, I mentioned it's possible you can select from among the 3 if you had. I don't know if any of them are interested. We haven't reached out because we haven't decided. We have enough time that the board could also choose to ask the remaining 3 if they're interested and seek new applicants if you want from the community. We have enough time to do that. We would be perhaps appointing at our December 8th board meeting. So that is when that process would take place. So there's enough time to do an advertisement and collection of applications.
Okay. Thank you, Superintendent Vidalis. I'd like to open up the floor for some feedback and discussion as requested by the administration for direction. Trustee Brusuela?
We went through an awful huge process already, which took a lot of time and a lot of money. I think we've already interviewed these people. We know who they are. I think, are we not ready to pick somebody from that group and not go through this all over again? Because this is an elected position. It's not hiring an employee. So that person who takes it on will have to run for the office later. But that's up to them, of course. So I'm just thinking, let's not start all over. Let's just move on from where we are. And the good thing is that person that we did choose is child, or I don't know if it's one child or more than one child, is attending one of our schools. So we're going to be seeing her in many other ways, and she's got great ideas, and so she's not going to go really away. But let's not start all over again, guys. We already saw these people. Does anybody agree with me or disagree?
Thank you, Trustee Brizuela. Do we have any other comments from Trustee Jordan?
I know we had received information about this previously, and so the recommendation was to have them, to bring people that were already interviewing for that position back and then opening it up to other people. So I would say that that would be my recommendation, is to, tell them to come back and open it up to others. Just because that is the recommendation, to not just move forward with the candidates that that had already interviewed previously. So I don't know if
Yeah, I'm not sure I would say it's a recommendation. I think that's just another possibility.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Trustee Jordan. Trustee Koo?
I will say we did interview 4 candidates maybe like a month ago or so. That was like an hour and a half long. I know we asked for candidates for a month or so. So I kind of, personally, I feel like I would love to be able to consider from the remaining pool of candidates, especially since we've already actually interviewed all of them already, and just make a provisional appointment based off the candidates who actually we considered a couple weeks ago, if that's an option.
I don't know if we're...
Yeah, so what I'm hearing, and I certainly would like a motion, and I don't know, Ms. Liang, I know why you did not speak, so.
I actually am leaning towards what has been shared with by Trustee Jordan. Just for transparency, I just think that if the individuals that have already applied reconfirm that they'd like to remain as candidates, and I don't know what the window would be to extend an opportunity, and if anyone has even contacted the district office to show any further interest, but I would like to ask if we are able to do that. That would be, I actually agree with Trustee Jordan. I'd hate to rule out someone who might have been on the fence and missed a deadline. But I know that we're kind of
You
stuck.
know, I'm just going to say something. This is not a paid position as far as being an employee. And I don't know how much longer we're going to keep stretching this out, because I would like to see a full board here. We had the candidates, and I think we all know that there's at least 2 good candidates left. We can't make a decision, then what is happening to us right now? That we have to make them come back again? This is an appointment. Do you know how we appointed everybody else before in the past? They came before us. They didn't have to bring an application and tell us where they went to school and the jobs they had. And it's an elected position. They come before us, they speak, we go, okay, we'll take that person. And we've never had a problem. This is the first time in 40 years that it's taken us this long to fill a position on the board. I'm embarrassed. That's all. Sorry.
Thank you, Trustee Brizuela. May
Try to
I?
be patient, but it's just getting too much.
I appreciate your honesty. Thank you. Superintendent Vidalis, may I ask, have you received any inquiries?
Not since this became available. I was waiting for direction from the board to announce it. I don't even know if any of the 3 candidates remaining are interested. I haven't reached out to them either, waiting for direction from the board on how to move forward, so.
I'd like to ask my fellow board members, some of you went through the process. Did you have to go through all this stuff when you were appointed?
I want to say yes, I did actually.
I mean, you went to interviews, but
Yeah, I mean, I sat next to him. I'm just like, yeah, no, I
I mean,
for a couple hours. So.
but I'm talking about your application, having to show where you went to school, where you worked, all this other stuff that was going on. This is an elected position.
Yeah, I actually did. I actually did submit my resume. I put a list of references. It was like applying for a job, and I was interviewed with 7 other candidates by the entire board. So it really was like applying for a job. And I will say this, I totally agree. I don't want to stretch out this process any longer. I would love more than anything to have a full board. But I just think that it still requires that we do our due diligence. And if we agree tonight as a full board, unanimously or majority, that we are willing to move forward with shortening the process by just going with the candidates that have already applied, I will say that I'm conflicted a little, but I also am a team player because I do feel that those 3 candidates were committed and applied and do want to be a part of this board. But again, I'd like to ask that we revisit everyone's position again. And I'd like to start with you, Trustee Koo, if you are still holding your position or if you have a different sentiment in your position.
Sure, I actually had a question for the superintendent. If we were going to reopen the process for application, what would the timing of that look like by chance? Because you're saying that we would make an appointment on the 8th. I'm going to guess that we would probably open applications sometime this week. What would be the deadline? Because I understand like it's probably hitting right up to like Thanksgiving holiday.
Yeah, so the potential timeline could be, you decide today, we begin the advertisement process on Friday, tomorrow's a holiday. We do need to ensure that there is an advertisement in a local printed publication, and so we would aim to have that in the following weekend's Chronicle as and we can likely, we would want applications to be due on the Monday after Thanksgiving, which is the November 29th, because the district office is closed Thursday and Friday, and telling people to stick their application, saying it's a Friday deadline. We don't know if it came in on Friday or if it came in on Sunday night, so we would want it to be due on Monday. And then we'd have enough time. The next board meeting is December 8th. It's not prolonging it any further than if you were just to select from the 3.
So December 8th is a possibility.
We can make December 8th work for either situation.
Is that conference? Not the conference?
It's not the conference.
The conference is from the 30th to the 4th, the week before.
The week before, okay.
I was wondering if we were going to do that route, could we potentially make it like a Tuesday deadline by chance, just in case people are traveling during that?
Can I say something? So what you're telling, what you're doing now is telling those people that went through that very long process that we want somebody else. If I were a candidate that went through all that, I'd say, oh gosh, I guess they really don't want me.
Yeah, I'm not
So
telling.
that's a message.
I'm not telling anybody anything. It's the board is the one who are discussing
No,
this. So.
okay, I'm sorry.
And I did have a request from the members of the public. If board members can use their microphones, they're not able to
I'm
hear.
sorry.
Thank you.
Okay. Guys, it's repeated. I just don't want to see us start all over again. We went this far. I think it's sending a message to the people that did do it faithfully and go through that long process that they really shouldn't have had to go through, but they did. By opening up again means we're telling them we don't want you guys. I'm just saying, think about it yourself, each one of you, anybody. How many times would you want to show up if you think they want to see more people? If you want to just see those same candidates to come back, that's fine, if you're still not sure. But I just think you're sending a really bad message. This doesn't seem right.
Thank you, Trustee Brizuela. It's a difficult situation, and you make a lot of good and valid points. I'd like to, did you have any, if you could finish your statement and your comments, Trustee Koo?
I was going to let others speak first. I'll let you.
Well, first of all, after you all speak, then I want you guys to answer a question that I have. Why don't you want any of the candidates?
Thank you, Trustee Brusola. Trustee Jordan?
I respectfully disagree with Trustee Brizuela, and I stand by my original comment to move forward with opening it up to others, and not saying that the other candidates that already interviewed were not good enough and we do not want them to come back. I think I want to be transparent to the public for those that have an opportunity to come to the board and make their case on why they would want to be on the board today. So, and then to answer Trustee Brizuela's, if I was in the situation, I would understand that this is just a part of the process. And unfortunately, we were unable to move forward with the candidate that was selected. And we're just moving forward in the best way that we can, transparently to the public.
So, did you say that again? I didn't get to hear all of it.
So in terms of your question, or how I feel about moving forward. So if I was a person that interviewed previously and was not selected, and it came about that the person that was selected did not move forward, I would understand that it wasn't the board's decision for that person not to move forward. And I would understand that the process of transparency is important to ensure that everyone has an opportunity to be on the board if they do so want to.
Okay. Your opinion.
Exactly, that is my opinion.
Thank you, Trustee Jordan. We'll come back to you, Trustee Koo. And I want to make sure that we speak loudly and project our voices, so as requested by the public.
Sure.
Hard to understand it.
I was going to say, I've been in situations where, like, say, you interview for a job and you go in for a certain position and you don't get hired. But legally, the process is if you want to apply for the job again or something similar, you still have to go through the whole process. So I definitely understand that. I'll say I'm more open to sort of opening the process just to make sure that everybody has a shot at applying for the vacancy. Because I would say, for example, the last round of interviews was technically a different position. If we're going to go that, and this is in theory a new round just because the former trustee did resign. So in many ways, it is a new position to me, even like when I look at it. So of course, I would love to just say, of the 3 candidates that we interviewed back in October, they would be great just to consider. I definitely see the perspective of my other fellow board members in regards to opening up just for the sake of transparency's sakes, and just to make sure that anybody who did potentially have any hesitation a month and a half ago about applying, maybe had a change of heart then, has the option. I would say there were great candidates on that night in October, but I wouldn't want to say if there were even better candidates, say in December, that we don't want to take that opportunity. So yeah, that's my thought.
I just want to make sure I understand you. So it sounds like you're agreeing with what was shared by Trustee Jordan?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. But so I was just gonna say though, like if we're able to sort of adjust the deadline so that there's at least an extra business day or so that people can actually get it done in case they forgot over Thanksgiving. I think that would probably be the most transparent way to just make sure that if you forgot on that Sunday and you don't remember on that Monday, you at least have an extra 24 hours to at least finish the application, however long it might be.
Thank you, Trustee Koo. And you wanted us to come back to you, Trustee Brusuela?
No.
Okay.
No, it's obvious you're not happy with the people.
Thank you. I, like my board colleagues, I'd like to say that I'm keeping to my position. I want to make sure that we have the best candidate that we can get, not to take away from the three that are still committed for us to consider. But we do business in public. And I just want to make sure that we're doing the best job that we can. And my opinion is that we open it up and be transparent and allow others an opportunity, if at all. We might still end up with the three candidates that we have, but we are in a unique situation where we had a candidate that resigned. So in my mind, it allows us an opportunity to open it back up. And I'd like to really confirm Superintendent Vidalis, if we could fast track the process and aim to make December 8th a possibility.
Yeah, we wouldn't need to fast track it at all. We would, because it is about 3.5 weeks before December 8th, so there's enough time. So, and we could certainly make applications or due on November 30th, Tuesday, November 30th. That would probably be the latest date in order for it to be prepared and ready for the board agenda would be produced on December 2nd. So that gives us a couple days.
You say that we're going to do it? December
I can't hear you.
Thank you, Superintendent Vidalis. And I'm sorry, Ms. Brusuela, if you could use the microphone so
sorry.
everyone can
So,
hear you.
When did you say the date for the interviews would be?
The board would interview any candidates on December 8th.
On December 8th,
Correct.
and that's what day?
It's a regular board meeting date, yeah.
Okay.
If there are no further comments, it sounds like there's some direction that's been given by what has been shared on the floor, and I'd like to ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion to move forward with the recommendations of the board, including Trustee Ku's request to have the deadline be the 30th to give anyone that's interested an ability to come back from the holidays and have that extra business day to do so.
A second.
So is it? Do it?
I'm sorry, Brusuela, if you could speak into the mic so that everyone is.
So we're just talking about what's the motion? Repeat the motion.
The motion is to move forward with the board's recommendations to put out, now I'm like going to say this completely wrong. Requests for applications for the board with the contingency for the 30th to give people time to do so after the holidays.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, this is what we're tasked to do, to make decisions and stretch ourselves. So I appreciate the board for entertaining the discussion. We will move on to item 14C, and it's call for nominations for CSBA Subregion 5-B Delegate Assembly. The administration recommends that the board considers nominating local board members for CSBA Subregion 5-B Delegate Assembly. Nomination packets are due to the superintendent by November 29th for consideration at the December 8th, 2021 meeting. This is submitted for the board's information.
We could make that November 30th if you had a nominee you wanted to present and needed an extra day, just like after the holidays. But yes, of course, the nomination packet is in your backup materials. If you know someone you'd like to nominate, please get their consent first. They will need to provide you with their resume and other information.
Thank you, Superintendent. We will now move on to item 14D, scheduling board reports. The board will discuss and schedule reports at upcoming board meetings for members who attended the 2021 CSBA Annual Education Conference. Any discussion?
So I believe at this point we have all four of you who have indicated you would be attending the CSBA conference. And will be, the tradition, practice has been to have board members report out on their learnings. In the past, we've utilized the meeting in December to be one of the first ones. I would suggest that because we're interviewing potential candidates for the board, that we probably not do it on that day, since that's going to be a lengthy process perhaps, that we start on our January 19th meeting. And then there's two meetings one meeting in February. Is it the 9th or the 16th? I forget. The 9th, February 9th. And we don't meet on February 23rd. That's the President's Week holiday for the district. And we will meet again on March 9th and March 23rd. March 23rd is reserved for the person with the best memory, who can remember 2 months early.
That's usually me.
I'm open to any day, personally.
All right. Well, thank you, Superintendent Vidalis. I'm sorry, Trustee Koo, was that a motion?
Oh, sorry.
I'm teasing.
I mean, I could do any day, so whatever preference you guys would like.
All right. So I don't think we're picking dates today.
Well, we can. I think
Can?
we should
Okay.
just schedule it right now. Like
Okay.
if you have
So he gave the
preferences.
4 dates.
Yeah, January 19th, February 9, March 9, and March 23.
Can
We could do up to 2 at a meeting as well. So we can just do the 19th and the.
I say we go for 2.
2. Yeah, they're no more than 10 minutes.
I don't mind going last, but it's up. Floor's open. You guys grab your dates.
So I would just suggest that we do it the earlier as possible, just because after we start to have other things going on and you forget
Yes.
what you even learned, and not forget everything, because obviously we're using some of what we learned to govern the district. But my concern is that we won't have it as clearly if we wait too long after the conference. So.
That
So
sounds
anybody
like
want
Trustee
to?
Jordan's going for the 19th.
Trustee Jordan would like January 19th. Anyone
Yes.
like?
Since
Anyone
we're
else
doing a
want
tag
to
team,
join
does anyone
her?
else want the 19th?
The thing is, if we know the date, we just plan ahead and get it ready. That's all, right? We don't wait for the last minute.
So we've got 2. Trustee Brusuela and Trustee Jordan will take the 19th. We'll take February.
That sounds good to me.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we schedule board reports for this California School Board Association Annual Education Conference for January 19th for Ms. Jordan and Ms. Brizuela, and February 9th for Ms. Lienga Anaway and myself, Mr. Cook.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I guess I second that
Yeah.
since I walked right into it, right?
We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Item 14E, Resolution Number 21-11-10A, in support of providing Jefferson Union High School District stable school funding and improving student education through the Ceremony Del Rey project. The board will consider passage of Resolution Number 21-11-10A in support of providing Jefferson Union High School District stable school funding and improving student education through the Ceremony Del Rey project.
So this came to you at the request of a board member, Mr. Koo. And Mr. Koo, I don't know if you'd like to say a few words for why you brought this forth.
Sure. As the Jefferson Elementary School District, many of our K-8 students graduate into the Jefferson Union High School District. And their Ceremony Del Rey project is in many ways meant to primarily provide a stable funding source for their school district in terms of helping to provide raises for teachers and staff, providing additional school resources for their students, and making sure that they can actually keep their teachers in our community. But secondly, the project as a whole also provides so many benefits for Daly City too. Provides a mix of increased affordable housing, more open green space, and additional community benefits that I think is of great value for our community. So I brought this resolution just as a show of sign of support as a school district that also has issues regarding trying to support stable education funding for our community. I think it's the least that we can do to show our support for the high school district, especially in their efforts to try to keep and recruit and maintain as many teachers in our community as possible, but also ensure that Northern San Mateo County has great schools and actually the funding they need to actually maintain those schools as well.
Thank you, Trustee Koo, for bringing this to us. Do we have any questions from fellow board members or you have public comment? Thank you, Trustee Koo. On this item here, we have Paul Hagan, President of AFT 3267. Welcome, good to see you.
Thank you very much, Board President. I rise, Paul Hagan, President of T3267, and I stand in support of the resolution. Our brothers and sisters in the high school district need some relief, and this is one of the only ways that they're going to get it. They've been fighting really hard for this. Thank you so much. I hope that you will vote to support the resolution. That is my urging. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hagan. Do we have any other cards? Thank you.
I don't know if everybody else got, I got a lot of cards sent to me to go out to our neighborhood. Did you all get those? Did you get little cards to pass out?
For this
For this project? Yeah. So I did my share and went through our area to pass it around. And it's something that's really important, and I'm glad that they're doing it, and they have the land to do it. I think the reason they're doing this is because they wanted to be sure that everyone knew what was going on, not wondering what are they doing, and it's very well accepted. So it's great.
Thank you, Trustee Brizuela. Trustee Jordan, did you have any comments to share?
I am in full support of this. I was out with the community supporting this at City Hall, and I am excited to see this on the agenda.
Thank you. I want to thank you again, Trustee Koo, for bringing this to us, for us to be able to support our Jefferson Union High School District. This is an important initiative. We ourselves have established workforce housing project because we know the importance to have affordable housing and housing, new developments that are accessible for our community. So at this time, I'd like to open it up for a motion.
I will make a motion that the board approves resolution number 21-11-10A in support of providing the Jefferson Union High School District stable school funding and improving student education through the Ceremony Del Rey project as presented.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. We have roll call vote, please. Ms. Covere?
Mr. Koo?
Aye.
Mrs. Brizuela?
Aye.
Ms. Jordan?
Aye.
Ms. Leah Inga Anawai?
Aye. Thank you. We will now move on to item 15, persons wishing to address the board. This portion of the agenda is available for individuals to comment on or address the board on any issue that is under the board's jurisdiction and not on the agenda. The maximum time allowed for any speaker is usually 2 minutes. Do we have any public comment cards on any items? No? Thank you, Ms. Covere. We will now move on to item 16, governance team member comments, reports, and board meeting reflection. We will start with Trustee Brizuela.
Well, this is a great meeting. Glad to see everybody in person, and glad to see that we're working on all these great projects, and so many good things are happening in our district, and I expect more to happen again. Good things.
Thank you, Trustee Brizuela. Trustee Jordan?
I echo fellow Trustee Brizuela's comments. I mentioned it earlier, happy to be here in person. I did not mention earlier that Thanksgiving was coming up, and so I look forward to the holidays, and I know Superintendent Vidales talked about staying safe, and so I just want to make sure that we're all being safe. We're, trying to have some sort of normalcy, keep your distance, wear your mask, get vaccinated, hoping that as we go into the holidays, we don't see a larger uptick in cases. We want to make sure to keep our community safe. So I'm looking forward to what the future holds, and thanks to everyone for coming out tonight.
Thank you. Trustee Koo?
Echo everybody else's comments. Good meeting. I just want to also look at the guidelines. We'll listen actively and communicate openly and respectfully. I know there are some contentious items tonight, but I just want to thank the board for trying to at least stay on course in that guideline as much as possible. And just want to wish everybody happy rest of November. See you all in December.
Yeah. Well, wishing you all and your families a happy Veterans Day again tomorrow, as that is approaching. And I want to just reflect back on our meeting guidelines, and one in particular, that we will listen actively, communicate openly and respectfully. I want to share that the business we do is public business, and we're very, very passionate. But I just want to remind myself and ourselves as we sit in these seats that it's okay to agree to disagree, but we have to continue to maintain a level of civility and respect. People are watching us, and we should be leading by example. And I mean no disrespect in stating that, but I would not be honest with myself if I didn't share that truth this evening. I find it disheartening when we can't do that. And so I think it's very important that when we do this business, I encourage us to be passionate, but we also need to be very respectful when we communicate. Our students, our teachers, our district rely on us to be that example, as we are decision makers, and we should be modeling that behavior. So I share that with my heart. I wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays. I look forward to celebrating and fellowshipping with my board colleagues at the education conference that we get to do in person this year. And please continue to be safe. I'd also like to ask that you help us in recruiting any other candidates that may be interested in sitting with us so that we can finally get a full board. So we are going to extend that to November 30th, but we're going to lean on you. We open that up to ensure that other people that might be sitting on the fence can be encouraged to put in their applications. And congratulations again to you, Mr. Laro. So we wish you all well, and we would like to adjourn this meeting. Do we have any other special? Okay, it is now 8:18, and I'd like to